Alright, today I want to talk about G2a again because they are still around and they are also still terrible. I covered the company not too long ago when an email surfaced asking creators to promote G2a and its own custom written propaganda while not disclosing that there was a monetary sponsorship. Essentially, G2a was outright asking creators to violate FTC sponsorship regulations, and the blowback was pretty much immediate and rather severe with good reason. This lapse in common sense with a stone-cold affirmation that G2a uses illegal methods to promote their brand re-sparked a previous debate about the moral and ethical implications of their business model. The thing about G2a, to briefly summarize here, is that it operates as a third-party key resale outlet which does not typically partner directly with developers or publishers, contrary to some of their claims in the past, and allows peer-to-peer user sales while harvesting a profit from transaction fees. This format opens the door for some potentially damaging side effects. A common occurrence now, which has become inextricably linked with G2a's brand, is credit card fraud. The simple explanation is that a hacker or identity thief gains access to funds that are not their own, uses those funds to buy large quantities of keys for various different video games, and then offloads those keys to other users on G2a while cashing out profit, which effectively launders the money. Where once they had access to a credit card that was not their own, they now have milled that card through G2a and have cash which is effectively theirs. G2a has heavily disputed this phenomenon, claiming it is virtually impossible for such practices to exist because of their extensive security efforts, even going so far as to claim that any developer capable of proving that they lost revenue from fraudulent keys sold on G2a's platform would be compensated to the tune of 10 times the funds that were actually lost, out of G2a's own pocket as well. However, despite the fact that this may seem like a position of confidence, today I want to re-examine G2a in light of recent events. There are numerous different examples of an indie game or development studio being negatively impacted by G2a. I've discussed some of these in the past, such as the developer TinyBuild, who suffered firsthand as their keys were being resold, resulting in not only lost profit, but also chargeback fees being attributed to their own up-and-coming storefront, which almost drove them out of business. But today, I want to focus on Unknown Worlds, the developers of Subnautica. Unknown Worlds is no stranger to the harmful effects of key resale websites. Dating as far back as 2013, the developer was forced to deactivate over 1,300 keys after significant chargebacks began occurring, which threatened their small studio. With the now public offer from G2a to compensate damages at 10 times their actual value, a relatively small sum can mean a big payday. So Charlie Cleveland from Unknown Worlds leveled an accusation that as a result of their previous $30,000 issue, G2a now owes them $300,000. This is not entirely accurate. It is fairly certain, at least from my own research, that the keys were indeed fraudulently obtained and sold, but G2a is not directly responsible for facilitating the transactions, at least not this time around. Developers at Unknown Worlds inaccurately blamed G2a when in reality it was a series of alternative key sellers, but I would like to analyze G2a in a much more generalized way, because the likely outcome of this somewhat false accusation, or rather an accusation that is not true this particular time, is that G2a will likely try to use it as a platform to push back against the narrative that they are damaging to the industry. Somewhat recently, in response to the renewed backlash against their gray market transaction model, G2a self-published an article with a speculative solution. The idea was to create a preemptive key blocker that would allow developers to place keys on a blacklist that would prevent third-party resale, and in theory, this is a solid concept, but there was a catch. Instead of simply creating this valuable tool to benefit the developers to whom they had already caused immeasurable damage, G2a decided to put in place a benchmark or threshold which must be met before they began developing this application. The requirement was that 100 developers sign on before the 15th of August, which is actually today, and if that number was met, then they would begin to create this tool. Well, the interest and participation level was stone cold horrible. As of now, only 19 developers or publishers have signed on, which is less than 1/5 of their demand, and though they have apparently extended the deadline by another 15 days, if the first 30 are to be any indication whatsoever, this is not something that is on the radar for most developers, or worse yet, they just don't care. The claim is that creating this tool will be time-consuming and expensive, so G2a wants to guarantee that it will be used by plenty of developers, and each individual viewer can interpret that however they want, but personally it reeks of bullshit. The entire format conjures up images of Epic Games, and their attempt to say that if Steam matched their 88-12 revenue split for developers, they would immediately stop poaching exclusives. That is deception of the highest caliber. Not only would it mean complete abandonment of pretty much the only thing keeping their storefront alive at the moment, it would also be impossible for Steam to do. Effectively, they are saying, if this impossible thing happens, because it won't happen, we will do this other thing that makes us seem benevolent or reasonable or whatever it may be. For instance, if this video right here gets 500 million likes, I'll donate the entire net worth of Upper Echelon to charity and have Elon Musk shoot me into space. G2a knows that the likelihood they will be held accountable for this new developer tool is near zero, and that is the only reason they did not simply begin working on it and chose instead to set up an artificial roadblock of we need X number of developers first. But when examining the complexity and malice of G2a, this is only the beginning. The previous tactic employed by G2a to diffuse criticism is G2a Shield. What is typically a free protection service from sites like eBay or Amazon or anything like that is not free on G2a, it is paid for, and also it is deliberately constructed as a profit funnel that makes every conceivable effort to slide into a user's purchase unnoticed, where it will charge your account every consecutive month after the 7-day trial period, and has also been proven by various users to be nearly impossible to cancel. Here's the experience of one user attempting to shut down the service, and this may have since been changed or streamlined by G2a themselves, I'm not sure, because there is no way in hell I'm going to go buy a game from them and also sign up for G2a Shield to test it, but regardless whether or not this is the exact replica of current procedure, it still paints a brutal picture of their priorities and methodology. What we can see here is a double-digit process in which the user is asked to confirm deactivation, give a reason why. Meanwhile, the option to cancel this lengthy process of canceling is heavily emphasized, as if deliberately baiting a misclick to shut down their request to leave. Then the user was asked to reconsider for a discount, reminded again of a random proposed benefit, told yet again in different words how great it is, having already said no multiple different times, guilt-tripped, asked to verify their credit card information, asked to verify their email address, told to wait at least 20 minutes, not up to, at least. That's important language here, because that means they could wait hours on end to send it to you in the hopes that you forget or get frustrated or give up, and then finally, after all of that, given the ability to cancel. Additionally, as far as I could tell at the time of this thread, the author claimed that the subscription would only allow you to enter into this process within 2 days of it renewing, so that the shortest window possible was open, with the most strenuous gauntlet of requirements they could possibly create in full effect. The deliberate goal is to trap consumers in a monthly subscription. To expand on the market sentiment towards this company, if you turn to any third-party reviewer at all, you can see an overwhelmingly negative representation of reviews. Most of the feedback is that sellers are utilizing the platform to scam potential buyers. Another hefty amount of references are the nebulous and shady format to G2a Shield, which is what we just discussed, and its monthly subscription tactics, and a list of concerns far longer than I could ever condense into a single video. But the takeaway is that this service is borderline criminal in its treatment of consumer health. As if all this was not enough, now we come to the Inactivity Fee. G2a has a platform wallet, which is used to purchase games from its marketplace. That is not uncommon in and of itself, and many other sites use a framework that is similar. However, very few other sites implement an Inactivity Fee that is as high or as frequent as G2a's. Effectively, what happens is if you do not log in for over 180 days, they will charge your account €1 or one relative currency unit. This is not something that is unheard of on principle. Certain gift cards or platforms will charge small amounts of money as an inactivity fee because, let's say you have a gift card for something, like for $10 or some larger amount, and then you only have 10 cents left on it after you've used it multiple times, and you leave the account for 2 or 3 years. Eventually, they will close that account down. That's reasonable. But only 6 months and a fee of a full euro? This is not a system designed to pull down truly abandoned accounts. This is a system to further gouge their user base for profit. As of the making of this video, there are indeed third-party audits of G2a being undertaken at the behest of various indie developers, and I speculate that if these audits are any form of credible, G2a will be found guilty of reselling stolen keys and be forced to either conform to their claim of compensation at 10 times the damage's value, or dodge away from their own commitment and once again underline why their reputation as a company is one of the worst in the entire industry. The takeaway is this: do not trust G2a. If you are determined to purchase games at a discount, sites like Humble or Chrono have price cuts as well, and they do so without the reliance on consumer gouging techniques and fraudulent card activity. There are ways to get cheap games that do not contribute to a detrimental and nearly criminal framework for the industry. I recently made a joke that with how Take-Two was acting towards Submata with regards to Borderlands 3 and leaked information, and I'm still working towards additional coverage of that situation, by the way, it's just taking a bit longer than I expected. I made a joke that maybe buy Borderlands 3 from G2A. It was absolutely in jest, but having researched the company a bit more for a second time, it was in poor taste. My genuine advice and request is that gamers not support a company as devious and damaging as G2A. But that's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. There's merch, a Patreon, Twitter, etc. All different ways to support, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.